Hi everybody and welcome back to my backyard once again. Today I'm very excited to test these two new products from Caddx. This is their first drone ever and it's a cinematic 2-inch 4S little Cinewhoop, and it uses the Avatar Moonlight camera, which is a very direct competitor to the O3. And in order to use this camera you need the appropriate goggles, the Walksnail Avatar HD Goggles X. Man, the name is incredibly long, but I hope they perform good because DJI needs some serious competition. Let's open the boxes and see what's inside. Let's start from the goggles. The box is very nice, and looking at the back you can already have a peek of what's inside, but this is one of those soft opening boxes. Very premium. Wow, look at this. Even if you pull, it doesn't come out. I always love when they give you pouches, it's premium feeling. Let's open it and boom, you got your goggles right here and all the accessory up there. You get a quick start guide, Walksnail cleaning cloth, 6060 to barrel plug to power on your goggles. And this is an analog audio video in cable. For example, if you want to use some analog receiver, you can do that. Time to talk about the goggles. First of all, they look incredibly sleek, even though this glossy finish is gonna attract fingerprint like a magnet. And once you start putting on surfaces, it's gonna scratch pretty easily. These two parts are LED strip, you can address the color. It comes with the headband already installed, but it doesn't have any loop to put a battery in here, which is a shame. The foam is very nice, it's a polyurethane foam, but I mean, I tried it and the goggles are light and it fits my face pretty nicely. I don't know about yours, but I mean, for me, they are more comfortable than DJI, because they don't pinch on my nose. I don't have much light leakage, only a little bit from the Velcro up here. Here you can see the lenses and the infrared sensor that shuts the screens down when you're not wearing the goggles to save power. One thing again I don't like is they don't provide any kind of little foam, something incredibly inexpensive, but you don't want to point the goggles at the sun from the lenses because you can burn the screen. And also I put the goggles like this in my backpack and I feel like the lenses are a little bit exposed. Something that costs nothing but adds a lot of protection on your goggles. On this side there is nothing, only some ventilation. On the other you have the power in without any physical button. And again, it will be inexpensive but very useful to have a button. On the bottom is full of stuff. You get first of all amazing HDMI in and out mini HDMI, but this is incredibly useful. Then the usual SD card slot, AV in, and these are the eye adjustments for the lenses, so you can move them left and right and adjust the IPD. Top part you have a 5D button, back and record button, and here is something super cool because you may see 4 antennas, but there is a 5th one in here, is a patch antenna. And also if you open this door it's a little bit finicky, you have to unscrew some stuff, but it's an entire replaceable, upgradable HD module. So if Caddx makes an advancement for these goggles, you just buy the new board, stick it in, and you have upgraded goggles. This is incredible stuff I want to see in the face of DJI. So I can't wait till that happens. But already the system is pretty nice because you have 180p, 100 frames per second screens, micro OLEDs, very similar to DJI, maybe just a little bit smaller field of view, but just a little bit from the goggles too. They are bigger than the goggles Integra. The transmission system very similar to O3, 22 milliseconds of latency, 50 megabits, and can go up to 1200 milliwatts. And now it's time to open the drone. The box doesn't have much going on around it, but it has the same syringe style opening system. It has a couple of pieces of foam up top and the tiniest amount of foam right here. It's very nice because it looks like a curtain. It comes with a quick start guide, a set of extra HQ props, 2x2x3, micro USB cable, extra screws, a connector and a M2 key, an extra battery strap, Caddx branded, an ND8 and the filter for the Moonlight camera. And boom, let's talk about specs. 94mm motor to motor, 115 grams of weight. The top plate is a 2.5mm carbon fiber, which is blacked out, and the bottom is all unibody injection molded material, which is very strong and very light at the same time. The motors are Caddx branded 1303 6000 kV. The flight controller has a little plastic cover from the top, but from the bottom is fully accessible. I like this, it's premium. And it's a F4 flight controller with 20 amps ESCs all-in-one and the Express LRS 2.4 receiver built in. Let's remove the cap and take a look at the Moonlight camera itself with the system down there. Everything reminds me a lot of the O3 system. The weight and the size is basically the same. And the only thing is, this camera, it records 4K 60 just like the O3, but it should have a lot more low light sensitivity. So I can't wait to test it out because it's a really big pain of the O3. Camera, as you can see, can move and it's suspended by a 3D printed TPU arm down there, and also it's very protected from the bottom and from the top, and it also, this part moves as you can see, and you can slot the ND filter. It's finally bound and ready to fly, and it took me a little bit of fiddling to familiarize with the menu system, which is not the most straightforward thing ever. And finally I can record in 4K 60 because the option was not there at the beginning, because the transmission system was set on frame rate high, and that only allows you to record 180p. You need to select frame rate normal in order to use 4K 60. And I have a few things to report. First of all, the camera has gyro flow stabilization, which is incredible. Of course, it records the gyro data and you have to stabilize later. But the sensor is native 16:9, which is fine enough. But if it was 4/3, you would have more room to not crop in when stabilizing with gyro flow. And also for vertical footage you have to crop in a lot more from 16:9. The VTX records in 150 megabits per second, which is very nice, 4K, but only 8-bit, not 10-bit, and normal color profile. The option is there, but you cannot change it. I hope one day they add the flat color profile and the 10-bit if they wanna compete with DJI. And finally, let's fly and let's chase some chicken. Caddx recommends 650 milliamps 4S batteries, and that fits pretty nicely in there. This is the dinosaur I'm gonna fly with today because it has the Express LRS 2.4 on the back. And I'm not used to these big gimbals anymore. Let's see how it goes. I have to arm in order to record. Okay, and now I should be able to record and let's fly. I saw some chickens already. So first of all, the drone is very stable. You can see it. Oh, I did not expect that, but yeah. It's very stable. I don't know why, but maybe it needs an ND filter. That's why. This is a Starlight camera, and the highlights. Whoa! Yeah, I'm not used to this radio. The travel is higher than usual, so excuse me. But yeah, there is also a little bit of wind. All the excuses. Come on, where are the chicken? I mean, I swear there was a chicken back here. I know my chicken, I heard him. Come on, let's do the first chicken chase with this drone. And then I'm gonna put an ND filter. So, the chicken does not seem incredibly scared by this drone. He's not running for his life, he's just strolling for his life. Oh, no, I thought we found the chicken. Come on. Yeah, I need to put an ND filter for sure because this camera is it's very sensitive to light, looks like. Oh my god. Oh, I don't know, I passed through that, but this is 1200 milliwatts, everybody. I am, as you can see, yeah, maybe I'm pointing a little bit on the wrong direction, but let's turn myself. Okay, now I am pointing straight forward. Let's try again. First flight, by the way, I'm testing stuff still. Let's see if it improves. No, it's not a DJI O3 level. Not at all. It's like half of what DJI O3 does, and yeah, that's a shame. I expected much better from this system. Man, even down here it makes issues, which usually I don't have many issues flying down here. So the starlight capability shines here. I can see a lot better than with the O3. Wow. But yeah, signal goes away in bad ways. And I'm gonna put the ND filter on. Maybe it's better. Let's put it in air mode and let's see how it flies now. Yeah, it seems a little bit better with the highlights now. And the drone flies good with this wind. I was not expecting more, but man, I am at 1200 milliwatts, which is crazy, and I guess it's gonna have issues behind this tree. Yeah, low, the signal was low. I don't know, it's crazy. So the drone is very, very, very smooth. I like the drone. I have to test a lot of stuff today, but for a 2-inch, for a 2-inch is not bad. The crazy part is, I mean, 1200 milliwatts again. I hacked the FCC even because I was like, yeah, 700 milliwatts, which is stock. It's not great. I read that you can put 1200 and I put it with a couple of SD card files. But wow, I'm gonna land, the battery is almost depleted. And I ended up testing 180p and 720p both at 50 megabits and nothing changes. It dropped the signal at the exact same places you saw at the 180p 25 megabits. So it's a shame because I expected it to be a little bit better. It performs like half of what DJI O3 does, and it's doing it at 1200 milliwatts, which is a lot for the digital system, and DJI O3 does a lot better with the same, if not less, power. Talking about the drone, it seems to fly nicely. Today it's a little bit windy and it's very smooth. It didn't had washout on anything. It's very, very smooth and well tuned, so thumbs up for that. And finally, the sun has set. There is still a little bit of light, but it's low enough that we can test a camera called Moonlight. Let's put it in night mode and see how it performs. The goggles look incredibly cool at night, much better than the DJI ones. And you can already see the issue of not having 50 FPS. It flickers here in Europe, which is super bad. And Caddx, come on, how can you make a camera record and not have 50 FPS? To me it's crazy. But at least for what I can see, it seems pretty good, the low light performance. Look at this. Here it's almost pitch black and I can navigate. Wow. Of course, it's still a little bit sunny, but don't be fooled. It's quite dark and low light. Oh. As soon as I go back there, you see the signal starts losing. It's crazy. Man, first of all, they need to improve that because it's not feasible. But yeah, the low light is nice, except it's flickering. Yeah, and we saw a little bit of freeze there, which is crazy. It's freezing, worse than analog. Yeah, it's a small drone, it doesn't have a lot of inertia. Boom. I don't know how usable this recording will be, because I see a little bit of noise, of course. Not a lot, but yeah, for sure you can see fine with this camera at night or in low light. With the O3 flying here, you see much darker. Also in the settings there is some noise reduction if you wanna play with it, but I always like adding it in post. This camera's unit is doing already too much. To say, I'm very impressed with the low light capabilities. Don't judge how dark it is by the video, trust me, it's much much dimmer than what you see. And finally, it's time for my final opinion. Starting from the goggles, I like the design a lot. It's modular, you can change the antenna, you can change the module, you can upgrade them once they release something new. All of the antennas can be changed. These parts are super cool with the lights, but you can remove them and add a patch antenna, another one that basically screws instead of these antennas. And yeah, they really thought about a lot of stuff like the double HDMI in and out. What I don't like about the goggles, it's minor things like not having a battery strap back here, which it's much more convenient than have a wire coming into your pockets, and maybe you do this and you disconnect the goggles and you lose the drone. I don't know, I don't trust it. So you should provide an inexpensive piece of foam to protect the goggle lenses. What I'm not really convinced about in these goggles is the menu, which is a little bit cumbersome. It doesn't look super great, like they tried a modern aesthetics, but I don't know, they should streamline it, less graphics, more usefulness. I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed in the transmission system, which I expected it to be comparable to DJI. 80% of what DJI does, I will be fine. But this thing is like 50%. You start seeing artifacts very soon as you have stuff in the middle. As soon as you go around the corner, it drops. And this at the same power level. And Caddx, if you're watching this, the first thing you need to improve is the transmission system, both via software and via hardware with some updates. Because in order for people to switch to the system, it needs to be comparable to DJI, in my opinion. And then everything else will follow. We need a company to compete with DJI. I don't want to see everybody using DJI. I personally would love to switch to another system that focuses on the pilot and give the pilot more options. And I am rooting for you, but you are almost there. You need to do the extra step. Talking about the drone, is very comparable to the O3 ones I already reviewed many times, and basically it's very comparable between Pavo 20 is a little bit heavier, a little bit more powerful, but not as powerful and good flying as a Cinelog 20. Something in the middle of those two, so you have an idea. Flies good, is smooth, not jello, battery life with a 650 is around 5 minutes if you don't push too much, and yeah, the drone, pretty fine. Nothing to say about the drone. Talking about the Moonlight camera, I feel like it's hit and miss again, because as a FPV camera, it's probably better than the O3. During the day, and especially at night, you see much better, you have much more light coming in, and you can navigate better. But the main reason you use a camera like this is because you record as well with it, and otherwise you will be using a single-purpose FPV cam that's much better at flying, and then a GoPro or whatever action camera up top for recording. So the recording part of this camera I'm not really sold on, because it feels like a 4K camera dashcam, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it's 150 megabits, but it doesn't feel like that. It's noisy during the day, it's noisy during the night, you don't have 10-bit, you don't have flat color profile. Some of this stuff probably they can add it in software, and they should add it in software to make it more usable. But seeing the quality coming out, I'm not like I want to record my travels with it, I don't want to work with it. Maybe if I fly in a band or if I do something sketchy, I have a little better DVR than the one in the goggles, but that's it. It's just a better DVR camera, not a cine camera, in my opinion. This camera is like 60-70% of what O3 does. O3 is like 80-90% of what a GoPro or an Action 4 does. And the O4 system from DJI will come out soon, and that's basically an Action 4 in this form factor. And I guess that's all for today. I expected this system to be working a little bit better than it did, because maybe with some software improvements it can close the gap a little bit with DJI O3, but then DJI is gonna release O4, and there is a lot of keeping up to do. I am rooting for Caddx, I am rooting for any other companies trying to improve the digital system, and companies that care about us FPV pilots, not like DJI. So please do win and do make a competitive product. I'm gonna follow it, and if you want to support them and if you have the money, please support them, because it's all about money and budgets, and they have some zeros less than DJI probably for budget, and it's a miracle already that they did this. But at the end of the day, the system that goes the farther, that has better penetration and better image quality is DJI, and I think a lot of people are gonna still keep using that until something different is not ready 100%. And as always, remember to like, subscribe and comment on this video. Let me know what do you think about all of this rambling I did and about my position on this system. As always, if you wanna buy something and if you wanna support this company trying, remember to click on the links down in the description below. Also, you help my channel a lot. So thank you so much, stay safe, and happy flying. Bye!